Welcome to Anything Agriculture's Quick and Dirty Greenhouse. Please like and subscribe so I can keep making more content. This quick and dirty greenhouse I did several years ago for a demonstration for a gardening group. At the time I was pregnant, so I had my husband help me build it. But what happened is I was able to take a bunch of pictures of the process, and I wanted to share those with you today. Now, let's get started. This quick and dirty greenhouse doesn't take very much. It takes 2 cattle panels, 6 2x4s, 4 furrowing strips, a package of half-inch pipe insulation, a box of construction screws. We use 2-inch. I like to use construction screws. Don't use drywall screws because they will rust and break. About 8 U-nails, plastic covering for use greenhouse plastic if you want it to last a long time. If you're doing this for an animal shelter, you need to find a tarp. Greenhouse repair tape. This is kind of an important thing. This tape sticks to everything and is UV protected, so it's really good for repairs. You want some treated wood or plastic wood for the base so it doesn't rot out. Stakes for securing the greenhouse to the ground because it will blow away. And I'm going to show you something that we call wiggle wire. It comes in a 10-pack and it's very, very easy to use. Here are some of the materials that I'm showing you. In the middle there is a wiggle wire that I was just talking about. It's an industry standard for greenhousing. It makes tightening the plastic very, very easy. When you start building a greenhouse, you're going to need some tools. Now, it's usually really helpful. You need a saw, circular saw I recommend, impact driver with a number 2 Phillips bit, or whatever bit your construction screws use, whether it's star drive or anything else. A drill, I have a little Black & Decker one, a hammer, needle nose pliers, another pair of flat pliers, or you can still use the needle nose pliers, a little bit of wire, and a helper. And in this picture, you can see my husband. He helped me build this. All right, let's get to work. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to pre-drill holes. This will prevent the boards from splitting, and this is extremely important, not split your boards. That'll just weaken the entire structure. So pre-drill your holes. You'll need to find a drill bit that will not be quite the size of your screws, and pre-drill your screws for the ends. And this is your pre-drilling the base. So if you're using treated wood or plastic wood, make sure your drill bits are sharp. And in this picture, you could see that we are using the impact driver and our construction screws to screw the ends together. Be very careful when putting the screws in the ends. Always pre-drill the ends and the boards so they do not split. And here you have our base. Now, these bases can be changed size. This one actually was built to fit in the back of a pickup truck, so that's why it looks a little narrow. These can be wider depending on how tall you are or how wide and big you want it. In this picture, you can see where my helper is putting in one of the cattle panels. You'll bend these cattle panels to fit the inside of your frame, and you'll secure these with the U-nails. One trick is to use your needle nose pliers, put the U-nail in the needle nose pliers, and bang them with the hammer squarely. If you use your fingers, you might bang them and hurt your fingers. This is a very easy way of fixing that. In this picture, you can see where he is using his fingers to put the U-nails in. And yes, he did bang his fingers. That's how we discovered the needle nose trick. U-nails can be tricky to bang squarely. So here you see that you got both ends in and banging it with a hammer. Now when you finish putting both cattle panels together, you're going to wire them together in several places with just some wire. This will hold them together so that they will work as a canopy. As you can see here, we're using just some regular wire. You can use anything that you have on hand. Sometimes coated wire works really well for this, if you have some like extra coated wire from an electric project. You can see here that this is a very tight twist. You're going to want to bend those ends of the wires down so that they are not interfering with the canopy. Otherwise, it will cause a rub spot with your plastic. So if you've been following along, this is where you should be right now. You have a base and your cattle panels are attached and wired so that they are secure. This is where you are right now. And if you've made it this far, you're halfway done. At this point, you can bend your cattle panels to get more of a Gothic shape if that is something you would prefer, if you like that aesthetic better. This is my helper, my husband, who is bending our panels to make them a little bit taller. But the person this greenhouse went to was over 6 foot and wanted a little more head space. Okay, now we're on to building the doorway. You're going to take some of your 2x4 and you're going to make the doorway that fits. This is a great time if you have an extra old door hanging around or something you can use as a door, like a solid door. You can make this door frame fit that, or you can just make a door frame that you can fit into. This is a great place to use scrap wood if you're not intending to put an actual door in it. For this particular greenhouse, if you're not putting two doors, one on either side, you can just put a support in the back. Here we just did a triangle. We cut the angle, and the very top of that will support the metal for the cattle panels. What you see here is the back side of the greenhouse. With the back side of it does not have a door in this particular greenhouse. You can put two door frames in to cause for stability, but here we are moving the wire onto the top of the support so that the top is supported by the wood frame. Okay, here's where we are right now. We have a door frame put in and we have this back supports in. The top of the greenhouse is being supported by the door frame and the back support. So hopefully you've gotten to this point. Now, I like to put your pipe insulation on the edges on the top. And this will help prevent wear and tear from the plastic and the metal meeting. And you can put this on several ways. Here you can see I use some of the plastic greenhouse tape. You can use zip ties, whatever to attach that. This greenhouse was made for a demonstration, so as one of the things we did was attach the pipe insulation with zip ties as well. I'm sorry, the picture's a little blurry, but I wanted to show you that that can also be done. And if you're wondering why we're putting that pipe insulation on the ends of the metal, it's to protect the plastic so that it doesn't create any wear marks, which will wear through and can rip up your plastic. Your plastic will stretch a little bit with the wind naturally, and any sharp areas can get caught and then they will be ripped apart. In this, you can see where we have the point, and we also covered that with the foam so it wouldn't wear through the plastic. Okay, here's another picture of where you can see we have the pipe insulation wrapped around the metal so that it wouldn't harm the plastic when we put it on. You can see this, I added a little extra so that the corners of the door frame were also protected. And you can also see where in the back there, this is a little bit more Gothic shaped. That's why we used a triangle in the back. But if you were just doing a round shape, you'd still be doing the same thing with the pipe insulation. And here you can see my helper measuring out the plastic to go over the main part of the greenhouse. You want that plastic to be at least a foot to 18 inches longer on each side. That way you have something to help anchor the greenhouse with, and you will have something to roll up when the sides, when you need to open it up for ventilation. You want to use greenhouse plastic for longevity. The cool thing about these little greenhouses is that they can use like ends of big rolls and stuff, so you can get them on a much cheaper price. You want to use a greenhouse plastic because it has UV protection in it and will last for several years, 5 to 10. Regular construction plastic like Visqueen or something will deteriorate within a year, probably tear up and not do what you want it to do. Also, buy the greenhouse repair tape. It is UV protection. It's super handy and sticky if you have any tears or repairs. Installing the greenhouse plastic is usually a two-person job. Luckily, when I was doing this demonstration, we were indoors and it was a lot easier to put the plastic on. But if it's windy, putting the plastic on can be a very big challenge. So have a second person to help you out with this. When adding the plastic, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of an overhang, as you can see in this picture in the back, you can see that there's overhanging a little bit. If you only have one doorway, if you have two doorways, you're probably not going to hang over so much, but a little bit of overhang will help create a tight seal. So there are a couple of ways to secure the plastic. The easiest way is to use two furrowing strips sandwiching the plastic and the panels in between each, using some screws to screw them together. And this you want to do about 2 to 3 feet above the ground level, and that's because you'll roll up the sides of this greenhouse to allow ventilation and wind to help harden off your seedlings. And this is where the wiggle wire comes in to play. So wiggle wire is an industry standard for greenhouses. It's just a wire in like a C channel. You apply the C channel to a furrowing strip against that sandwich between the wire, And then what you'll do is you'll take the plastic, you put it in the C-channel and use the wiggle wire, and you put that in there. This is great because it will keep tension on that plastic and you'll have less wear and tear. It is a great way of doing it. If you can afford it, it's great. You don't have to, but I really like using wiggle wire because you can adjust the plastic when it stretches out a little bit, and you don't have to worry about the holes of the farrowing strip screws working holes into your plastic. So now let's talk about how the ends work. Now the ends, you're going to use another piece of plastic if you're not using a door, and you're going to tape that with your plastic greenhouse tape on the inside and the outside to create a tight seal. You don't want any lumps or bumps, anything that the wind could catch. In the picture you see, we're using plastic to cover both sides. You can use a solid door. It's really common. The only thing you need to worry about with a solid door is that it will cast shadows, and to make sure that you're not shading out your plants by accident. In this picture, it's a little hard to see, but here you can see where we tape both sides of the plastic and with the greenhouse tape, and that creates a nice tight seal to make sure that air can't get in or cause drafts, which if it's cold can harm your plants. All right, your greenhouse is almost ready to go. I wanted to remind you that if you're using a plastic flap for your door, you need to make sure you don't tape the entire flap down. Otherwise, you can't get in and out of your greenhouse. You want to make sure that the flappy is flappy so that you either one side or another so you can get in and out. You want to make sure that this greenhouse, when you move it into place, it has stakes or something in the ground so that it doesn't fly away. A good stiff breeze can blow these around and make them kites. I've used bent rebar pounded in the ground with a little hook on the end that I bent myself and over the base of it so that the greenhouse wouldn't fly up if the wind caught it. If there is a windstorm, talking about the wind, you want to close your greenhouse entirely up so the wind can't get in, or it'll turn into a very large kite. I wanted to bring your attention to why we left the extra flaps on either side of the greenhouse with the extra plastic. Those are there so that you can put cinder blocks or even some soil on there, and you can remove that and roll up the sides or roll down the sides and secure them with some rocks or cinder blocks. You also want to do that in the front with your door. You also want to have a little extra flap so that you can put a cinder block or something in front of the door so you can keep the door closed. All right, the quick and dirty greenhouse. This can easily be changed for livestock such as chicken and ducks by adding hardwire cloth instead of plastic and adding a tarp on the top for some sun protection. This is easy and quick and shouldn't take you all day to build. It should take about, an hour or two, depending if you have all your supplies and stuff gathered up. And it's easy and it's quick and it gets what you need to get done. So here's the quick and dirty greenhouse in practice. I used this for about 8 years. Then I had to leave it at the property when we moved to a new property. I plan on building another one for my greenhousing. I hope that you found this helpful and useful. Please like and subscribe to Anything Agriculture and drop me a picture of your quick and dirty greenhouse. Thank you. And if you like this video or anything else we have on Anything Agriculture, please like and subscribe. That helps me be able to make more content for you. So like and subscribe to Anything Agriculture. Thank you.